Hello and welcome to the E14 Toybox. I'm Rob and thank you very much for joining me on this video. So today I'm going to be, as promised in the last episode, opening a couple of DC boosters from the Joker's Wild set. So that's a release this year, a little bit of an old one, but I picked up a few at a reasonable price and I felt that they're, ultimately I have fun opening these no matter what. So for me, the set doesn't really matter too much. Obviously, there's something to be said for the timelier ones. The more recent sets are probably going to get more interest, but what can I do? I mean, especially as Mighty Thor, at the time of recording, I've still just seen the boosters I own available for purchase. Still no sign of them in my local shop, Forbidden Planet, from near my work. Still no sign of the Undead Clicks at the time of recording, which is now November the 12th at the time of recording today. So I've been limited in what I can and can't acquire. That's the word I was looking for. Don't know why that took me so long, but I'm thinking, eventually maybe pick up, once I've cleared down a bit, pick up some more Elseworlds perhaps. I really like that set, even though I'm doubled up a couple of times on the last episode. The What If ones, less taken with, but generally the 15th anniversary stuff's been pretty cool, so I can't really fault them there. Anyway, Joker's Wild. So we'll focus back on the task at hand. Now, originally I was looking for Bane. I've compounded things by actually going out and buying him separately because I was desperate to use him in a game. And he does turn out pretty bloody fun. Although he did lead to some hilarious moments where he'd run his speed right down and I needed to get across the map. So he was every turn just and so on. So Bane is now no longer something I'm interested in getting unless there's a sketch variant, which I'm not sure about. So I'm going to go for a slightly loftier goal. I've got two, kind of one lofty one and one more realistic one. So I'm going to go for Killing Joke Joker as my lofty one because he's a chase. And I'm going to go for Deadshot as my backup because he's slightly more attainable than a chase by his very nature of not being a chase. So let's see what I get. So, number one. I'd forgotten all about the underside plastic trays. I like those, and I wish they used them more. Anyway, so there's some pretty cool pieces coming out of this one. So, look forward to that. Let's do them in collector number order. That makes sense, doesn't it? So some I don't recognise. One in particular I don't recognise. The rest I do. So I'm just going to pop these out. I'm going to cut to a quick jump and I'll go through them once I've got them out of the boosters. Alright, so first things first, the most common one in the pack is a 40-point Green Arrow. So he's the old style, Errol Flynn almost, Robin Hood style sculpt. I like him personally. I realise he's probably not everybody's cup of tea, but I dig it. So he's 40 points for 4 clicks, 3 clicks of sidestep, and nothing attack-wise to speak of, nothing defense-wise to speak of. Range combat expert, understandably so. So he can buff his damage up a little bit to make up for the fact that he doesn't have a fantastic printed damage. So his trait, which runs through no matter what, I'll do his keywords first. All-Star Squadron, Justice Society, 7 Soldiers of Victory, Star City, and Past. 6 range, 1 lightning bolt. Doesn't seem like enough for Green Arrow, but I suppose for 40 points you can't really quibble. Trait, a simpler time. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, if a character uses the JSA team ability, which he has, to replace its defense value with green arrows, also modify that character's defense value by +1 against range. So he buffs up people who've used the JSA to make his defense ability theirs with defense against range. So, yeah, I can see why you'd do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to. So next, we have a sketch variant. Normally, they're a bit of a mixed bag. This one's kind of nice, although a little bit haphazard, has a strange face as a result. Batman, look at those dead eyes. Look at those dead eyes. So, he's 120 points for 6 clicks of health, 3 clicks of running shot, 3 clicks of charge, 6 clicks of his attack box out, which I'll describe in a moment, 3 clicks of toughness, 3 clicks of combat reflexes, 2 clicks of leadership, and 4 blanks. So he's got the Outsiders team ability and the Batman family one. 120 points for 6 clicks. Trait, my team to handle what the league won't. Once per turn, when a friendly character within 6 squares uses the outsider's team ability, that character can immediately use Outwit, but only to target the opposing character targeted for the outsider ability. So you can add additional fun to the outsider's ability by giving them a free Outwit as well. And so his attack box out. Analytical Mind and Utility Belt. Give Batman a free action and choose one. Energy Explosion, Force Blast, Incapacitate, Precision Strike, or Willpower. Batman can use the chosen power until he chooses again. So that's pretty cool. He's got a fair bit of versatility there. He can move through hindering terrain and elevated terrain for the purposes of movement. So he can basically have a free leap climb, and he can move freely through hindering terrain. Plus, obviously, with the Batman family ability, he gets stealth. So that's quite handy to combine together. Next, we will move on to one of the most common pieces in terms of sculpts, although they're slightly different. Harley Quinn. So it's a 35-point Harley Quinn. Quite a nice sculpt. I like the big hammer. Here's a dial here. So 3 clicks for 35 points. Sidestep, stealth, sidestep. 3 clicks of attack box out, which is incapacitate and poison. 3 clicks of super senses. A shape change, close combat expert, and then back to shape change. And she has Batman enemy team ability, understandably so. So trait. This is how I deal with the bat. Once per turn for all characters with this trait, if a character uses the Batman enemy team ability to replace its attack value with Harley Quinn's, also modify that character's attack value by +1 if it is a close attack. So she's better to use to replace her attack value, and it means that she can give them +1 attack value if it's a close attack. So she'll replace with 10, 8, or 9, and then up by 1 if it's close. So it depends on who the character is. That might be handy. Personally, I don't do a lot of the swapping, but I can certainly see the appeal. So next, we have a JSA character with a simpler time, slightly different variation thereof. Hourman. So this is the character I'm not familiar with. It happens. Here's the dial. 5 clicks for when it zooms in. Plays nice. I obviously want you to look at this. That's why I'm holding it right up to the lens. Come on. Play nice. There we go. 2 clicks of movement box out. 3 clicks of blank. 4 clicks of super strength and then nothing. 4 clicks of nothing followed by regeneration. And then 5 clicks of blank damage. 0 range. And 1 lightning bolt. Indomitable though for 25 points. Wow, okay. A simpler time. Once per turn for all characters with this trait. If a character uses the JSA team ability to replace its defense value with Hourman, that character can use prob control, but only if the attack roll has a 6. So they can... Oh, I don't know if that still works anymore. It's an attack roll and a breakaway roll, isn't it? Yeah, alright. That should be fine. Give Hourman a move action when he is adjacent to blocking terrain and not holding an object. When you do, after actions resolve, Hourman is holding a standard light object. So he can basically just wrench light objects off the wall from blocking terrain. Doesn't mention anything about destroying the blocking terrain, so you keep that, get that for free. So that's pretty cool. 25 points for an Indom character is really cheap. But, I mean, you know, who am I to argue? So... Not quite the character I was hoping for. Well, it is the character I was hoping for. Not quite the variant I was hoping for. But it is a rare Joker. And it's a really nice one with a squirty flower. So, I don't know why I did it that way around. That's silly. Nice use of the translucent plastic. We know I'm a fan. So, he is 50 points for 4 clicks. Pretty basic dial in terms of variety. 4 clicks of sidestep, 4 clicks of attack box out, 4 clicks of super senses, 2 clicks of perplex and 2 of outwit. Indom for 50 points. So, the attack box out. Give the Joker a power action to make a close attack targeting a single opposing character within 3 squares in line of fire. If the attack hits, deal that character 1 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. So it's basically just a free hit of penetrating damage on any character adjacent. So he also has the trait, this is how I deal with the bat. With his variant, once per turn for all characters with this trait, if a character uses the Batman enemy team ability to replace its attack value with the Joker's, which is 10 or 11, you may re-roll the attack roll. So that's pretty cool. Gives you basically a free prop control. So, a nice haul from that one. So far, I would say probably that Joker is pick of the pulls. But we still have one more booster. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, he's nifty. I like him quite a bit. What I'm not so keen on is the doubling up, which is happening increasingly. Still, it is worth it for what I have at the end. The last couple of episodes have been good for that. The big piece, the big pull, the pick of the pulls has come in the last installment of the boosters. So unfortunately he's proving a stubborn bastard to get out of the box. But I want to be careful because I don't want to break him. Oof, and I pop him out and almost break him anyway. Alright, let's get them all out of their packaging. Right. So, let us start, as we mean to go on, with the most common. That looks right. So, first one, nice and simple, 45-point Joker. So not a million miles off the sculpt from the previous pull. But a nice one nonetheless. I like this more kind of cartoonized Joker sculpt that you're seeing in these sets. So here's the dial, 5 points, 5 clicks for 45 points. It's actually quite a decent dial for 45 points, but it's limited in variety again. 4 clicks of sidestep and a blank one, 5 clicks of an attack box out, 3 clicks of mastermind, followed by 2 blank ones, and then 5 blank clicks on damage. But so, let's talk about the attack box out. The Joker can use poison. He can use poison normally, or instead he may deal 1 penetrating damage to 1 adjacent opposing character. So it's got a slight variation on the standard poison. So that's pretty cool. Got the Batman team, enemy team ability, obviously. 0 attack, 0 range with 1 lightning bolt. He's at risk of going down the side of the plastic for some reason if I push him in too far. Such is life. Right, next, more generic piece, but a unique character, so there's that. Commissioner Gordon. I don't know if I have this one already. I might well do, but nonetheless, quite a nice sculpt. He's got his little coffee cup in hand. 4 points, 4 clicks for 30 points. There we go. So 4 blank clicks on his attack and movement. 2 toughness, 2 blank ones, 2 damage box outs, and then 2 enhancement. This is what the damage box out means. Commissioner Gordon can use enhancement and leadership. He may use each only if no other character has used that power this turn. Makes sense? And then trait, life on the streets. When Commissioner Gordon is the only friendly character using the police team ability for an attack, modify the defense value of the target by -2 instead of -1. So he's good as long as he's the only police character. Or at least the only police character using that ability. Never make use of those team abilities, I really should. Next, we have a double. So I won't bother going through this one because we've just done it. Non-sketch variant Batman. So, nice one. Less dead eyes. Still got all the bits. Not going to bother with that one again. If you're desperate to know, just pop back through. Next, relatively generic piece. So that is the Atom. So his dial looks like this. 25 points for 4 clicks, 3 clicks of sidestep, blank one, no attack powers, 2 clicks of combat reflexes, no powers past there, and close combat expert on all 4 of his damage clicks. So he's a JSA character again, much like Green Arrow and Hourman. This is going to get. So he has the simpler time once again for JSA team ability. Once per turn for all characters with this trait. If the character uses the JSA team ability to replace its defense value with the Atoms, also modify that character's defense value by +1 against close attacks. So he's good if you want to get in and ruck. So he's obviously a melee focused character in the comics and stuff. I'm not really familiar with that character, to be honest. The JSA kind of passed me by. So, last one is a super rare. And it is a rather nice one. It's a unique. He is an Outsiders team ability character. He is Geoforce. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? He's got gluten-free on his thing there. Lovely translucent plastic. We know I'm a fan. So, let's talk through his dial. He's 7 clicks for 160 points. Quite a heavy hitter. So 7 range with 2 lightning bolts, 2 clicks of running shot, 3 clicks of his move box out, which I'll talk through in a sec, and 2 clicks of earthbound neutralized, 2 clicks of penetrating psychic blast, 3 of super strength, and 2 of quake, 2 impervious, 3 toughness, and 2 regeneration. So then 2 clicks of leadership, 3 blank ones, and then 2 clicks of close combat expert once he's earthbound neutralized. So let's talk through his other stuff. So his movement box out is Geoforce can use charge, force blast, and move through blocking terrain for the purposes of movement. Trait, Geoforce can use barrier, but only as a free action and only to place 1 barrier marker. These markers are not removed at the beginning of his next turn. After actions resolve, if the map has 4 such markers, more than 4 such markers, remove 1 of them. So you can only ever have 4 on the map at one time, but you can place 1 barrier marker as a free action once per turn. Nice. He's really nice. I like him a lot. So obviously he's pick of the pools, if for no other reason than because he's the rarest, but also he's a gorgeous sculpt and his dial sounds like it could be quite fun. So that is the first of 2. Apologies in advance. If you're expecting anything newer, blame the UK distribution for the lack of newer sets available for me to purchase. But in any case, if you're happy just to unbox along with me over YouTube here, then feel free to continue to do so. I will always welcome you. And as always, thank you very much for watching the E14 Toybox, and bye for now.